Welcome on in, everybody, to the Postgame Pod here at Auburn Undercover. Nathan King, joined by Jason Caldwell. Patrick Bingham is behind the camera here in a cool and getting a little chilly FirstBank Stadium. Turned into a gorgeous day for football at what has also turned into a really nice SEC environment for Vanderbilt. And Jason, it turned into an incredible game. I mean, we talked about it before. The interim game under Cadillac, when it just felt like you're watching that game Mississippi State, you're like, what in the world is going on? A group that played so much more inspired and good football, truthfully. Same thing happened here. Auburn falls 45-38 to Vanderbilt in overtime, but Jason, for what felt like the first time all season against a really quality opponent, the offense held up its end of the bargain. Yeah. It was a very simple game plan, get the ball to your best players, and Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton in particular just absolutely shined in this game.
Yeah, they did. You look at it and go, the overall theme is that you had Diego Pavia that made maybe one more play than Auburn did today,
Yep.
and it was almost kind of backyard football for him a little bit, and hey, he made it work. But man, the theme for me is that I thought we saw an Auburn team that just said, look, we're just going to go play. And they played. And I thought it was a great plan by Derek Nix. Nathan, we talked about it all week. Like, can they get to tempo? Can they find some rhythm on this offense? And they did. And I thought Ashton Daniels was spectacular.
Yeah, it was
I
incredible.
thought he did a great job of taking those short throws, getting underneath. When you mentioned Cam Coleman, three or four circus catches for him. And then Eric Singleton was just steady in the middle of the field. Jeremiah Cobb had a big day. Auburn had a 300-yard passer, a 100-yard rusher, and 200-yard receivers. It didn't win. It didn't turn it over either. It didn't turn it over.
Didn't even think about that.
It's just one of those days where it went, look, and one of those seasons and one of those runs for Auburn where you go, you do all those things and your defense doesn't quite get it done. But I thought it was as inspired a performance as we've seen in quite a while.
For sure. There is something to be said for, I know it's difficult to put in to have a new coordinator, to have a new game plan. But there's something to be said for simple. There's something to be said for simple is better. But I think it's a great point by you, Jason, that this team just kind of felt like they went out there and played. There was a moment before the game where Xavier Atkins got almost to midfield, chirping at Vanderbilt. They ended up chirping back. The whole Auburn sideline came. The whole Vanderbilt sideline came. I think if you're Auburn, do you want to see that every game from a football team? Probably not. But it's like, if you're Auburn, that is the kind of response you wanted. You wanted guys to just feel really fired up and energized. And I thought the biggest thing, Jason, was that this group did not shy away from when Vanderbilt came back, when there was a holding call in a drive. Auburn really
False start,
exactly.
whatever it was.
Auburn just felt like they responded a lot in this game. And like you said, they just couldn't respond one more time is what it ended up being in overtime.
Yeah, there were some penalties that cost you on offense. You had a holding.
On defense.
But you scored 38 points. Your defensively, you had a couple. You had a huge one where you had a sack on second down and you get called for a face mask out on the perimeter, way away from the
30
ball.
yards away from it.
That gives them another play. And I thought overall, even defensively, look, Diego Pavia's really good. That guy's a playmaker. And they did some really good things. I didn't think the defense played terrible. It was about 4 or 5 plays, and they took advantage of really all of them, a couple of busts and some big plays. But you came up short. But I thought there were some things that you looked at that tonight and went, man, that was – I'll tell you what, it was a whole lot more fun than last week was. You lost the game, you went to overtime. But that was a team that fought today, and I'll take that all day long.
It just – especially offensively, sort of begs the question of what on earth was happening ahead of time.
Where was that?
Where was it? And just honestly kind of the dysfunction that this group had, because you mentioned last week, Ashton Daniels comes out here against a better defense. And look, every game is different. You can have a good day, but 31 of 44 for 353 and 2 touchdowns. For all the talk of Diego Pavia is going to get a lot of hype for this game, and he was absolutely excellent. More than 400 total yards and 4 total touchdowns for Ashton Daniels on the other side. There's no question why Auburn went with him in this game. And then you mentioned Cam Coleman, just absolutely unreal. Jeremiah Cobb was really good on the ground as well.
Let's give Mason Murphy some love.
Mason Murphy had a good job at center. Maybe one issue with a snap where everybody false started. Other than that, I didn't see any problems.
Bringing the veteran voice out there, even though he had not played center before, I thought he pulled together the offensive line. Yeah, you got to give Derek Nix and that entire offensive staff a lot of love for the job they did. And you're right, it wasn't overwhelming in terms of the things they did, But I love the fact that they got to the line of scrimmage to snap the football. I thought that was a big deal today.
Yeah, I think they rode the underthink express in the first half of don't even have time to think about what you're doing.
Right.
Just get there. Obviously, you're running a play.
But don't give the defense time to check what you're doing as well. Just get up there and go.
It felt a lot in the Freeze era, and that's just the type of offense they had, but you're literally running an offense that's dictated by the defense. That's the point of an RPO system. And so I think for this unit in particular, to change things up, Eric Singleton, I thought, put it really well after the game. He was asked, hey, this offense, do you guys feel like you were more locked in than any point in the season? Both him and Cam Coleman said, no, we've been locked in the whole way. He said, I know why y'all are asking that question. It's because we had more opportunities than we've had all year. They get targeted 21 combined times. Again, It comes back to just getting the ball in the hands of your playmakers. You mentioned, Pavia and kind of those busted. They had the one busted coverage. 7 completions for him in this game of 20 or more yards. To me, that's the story.
That's the story of the game.
It was the chunk plays.
That's it. Story of the game there. A couple of them come on scrambles. A couple of them where, you just lost a guy.
Eli Stowers was phenomenal.
Was incredible. Auburn tried to do a bunch of things to it, but I thought, that DJ Durkin was right. He said, look, what they did at the end of the game at Texas showed up, and then they did at the end of the first half against Auburn, and I think they went, hey, that's a key, because they were not going to just line up and run the football against this defense and go be successful. So they said, look, we're going to spread the field and do some of those things. To their credit, they made a few more plays than Auburn did today, but then again, I just leave going, that team, easy to lay down. Obviously, you're going to have some energy with a new coach, but they haven't backed off one bit. Even last week, it wasn't like they laid down. They just didn't play very well. They continue to come, and you have to give them respect for that.
Yeah, the interim bump is a thing in college football for a reason, and we talked about it all week. It's has nothing to do with Hugh Freeze was very highly. People loved him in that building. There's a reason you don't become a great recruiter over a 2-decade span if players don't like you. Like, people liked Hugh Freeze in that building. There's just something to be said for a change of scenery. There's something to be said for a little bit of juice when maybe you need it.
A different personality.
And a different motivator.
Yeah,
a guy like
he's a defensive guys normally are energy.
Sure.
They're kind of fierce. We've heard edge a lot.
Sure.
That's what he brought, and I thought the team played with that, especially offensively tonight.
Yeah, now it's a really interesting final couple games. Obviously, big picture wise, this one maybe you got to get an Iron Bowl upset probably to get back into a bowl game if you're Auburn. That was really the zoomed out perspective of today. Interesting last couple games now for Auburn. It's a well-timed bye week here. You have the Mercer question of, do you redshirt Ashton Daniels?
After today?
I would want that guy on my team next
year. After today, it would be tough for me to go, hey, we need to play that guy just because of what I saw today.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's, the preparation during the week, it's going to be interesting. And then obviously Alabama comes to town in the last game of the regular season with a tremendous passing attack. And obviously that's what got you today. And it's kind of been your only relative weakness on defense all season is those long passing plays. And so going to be an interesting time in the bye week, of course. It is an opportune time for us to talk about the coaching search. That's what we're going to be doing a lot of the bye week. And John Cohen said it about DJ Durkin last week. He said, look, he's going to be considered in this thing, and the defense struggled in a big way today. But for those who are giving some credit to DJ Durkin, I think it's just the way the team showed up. I think he deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, I don't think that he hurt his chances by losing this game today and by the defense doing what they did.
Absolutely
I thought. The team itself performed better overall because of what the offense did. Yeah, I think we knew this going in. Look, you're not going to be hurt if you come in and lose 10-3, but you're not going to be hurt doing that either because, obviously you take time away from the defense this week by being the head coach, and so you have to juggle some of those things. But, yeah, I don't think that DJ Durkin hurt himself with the way the team played.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that this whole stretch for him, this is a really difficult hand you're being dealt. John Cohen, I think, and I know he's going to. You make the hire that you think is the guy, regardless of what these last few weeks look like. With your other candidates as well. I mean, you just need to hire the coach you feel like is going to come in and do a good job with your program. And so, plenty to talk about on that front during the bye week. But for now, a thrilling result at FirstBank Stadium. Obviously, one Auburn came up short in, but showed a lot of promise that they're going to continue to fight here toward the end of the season and maybe make for an exciting Iron Bowl in Jordan-Hare Stadium. So 45-38 in overtime. Auburn falls to number 16 Vanderbilt. For Jason Caldwell, I'm Nathan King. Thank you guys for joining us on the Postgame Pod. Please continue to join us over at auburnundercover.com, where we're going to keep on writing a bunch of stuff. If it's VIP, you can join us for 60% off because we're going to be talking a lot of coaching search during the bye week. So we look forward to seeing y'all over there.